Ravi worked alone at the edge of the trade station. The station floated in space near the edge of Sector 9, a quiet place where few ships stopped anymore. Ravi didn't mind, he liked quiet. He was a mechanic. Machines didn't lie, didn't shout, didn't cheat. They just needed fixing. He wiped sweat from his forehead and adjusted the light on his tool belt. The metal pipe he was fixing made a small hissing sound. One last screw, and it would be done. He reached for the tool and stopped. Someone was watching him. At first he thought it was a mistake, maybe a shadow, maybe just his tired eyes. But no, there was a figure standing in the corner near the storage crates. The light above flickered. The figure did not move. Slowly Ravi stood. He picked up his small wrench, just in case. "Hello," he said softly. No reply. He stepped closer. The figure was covered in a long silver cloak, too thin for the cold station air. A hood hid the face. The cloak shimmered a little under the light, as if made of moonlight. Then he heard a soft sound. Crying. The figure was crying. Ravi stopped. The cry was gentle, broken, and filled with pain. It was not a machine, it was a person. No, not a person. When she lifted her head, Ravi saw her clearly. She was not human. Her eyes were large and light purple, glowing softly. Her skin looked like smooth pearl, almost shining. Her hair was silver, long, and soft like cloud. But her face was full of fear. She whispered something, voice shaking. Ravi stepped closer. Are you hurt?" he asked. She looked up and took one step forward, and then, without warning, she clung to him. Her arms wrapped around his chest. Her body was cold and shaking. He stood still, shocked. "Please," she whispered, "don't give me away." Ravi blinked. "What? I don't understand." But she just cried harder. "They'll find me. They'll take me, please." He gently held her arms. "It's okay," he said quietly. "You're safe right now. No one will take you." After a few minutes, she calmed down. She stepped back, her eyes still wet. She looked at him for a long time, as if trying to decide something. Then she spoke. "My name is Zira," she said. "I am from Valmora." Ravi had heard that name. Valmora was a quiet planet far from Earth, mostly peaceful. Green forests, bright skies. He remembered seeing it on a map once. "I'm Ravi," he said. "Just a mechanic." She nodded. Then, her voice dropped lower. "I am Princess of Valmora." Ravi stared. "What?" She looked away. "My people are in danger. My home is lost. I came here to hide, but they are following me. The ones who want me gone. The ones who want my power." Ravi tried to understand. "A princess here in this broken, rusty part of the station. Why me?" he asked. "Why come to me?" "I didn't choose," she said. "I was running. I saw your light. I hoped... someone kind lived here." Ravi took a deep breath. "Someone is after you." She nodded, as if to prove her words. The station alarm suddenly buzzed. A red light flashed across the ceiling. Ravi turned to look at the wall screen. A message appeared. "Security check. Sector 9. Unauthorized ship detected." Zira gasped. "They found me." Ravi didn't know what to say. He had fixed machines all his life. He had never fought anyone, never saved anyone, but right now, a girl, an alien princess, was looking at him like he was her last hope. He grabbed a long coat and gave it to her. "Put this on, keep your hood up." She obeyed without question. "There's a hidden storage room near the back," he said. "No scanners reach there. We'll go there." They walked fast. Zira stayed close behind him, steps light but hurried. The station was mostly quiet, but the sound of boots echoed from the other side. Guards, searching. Ravi's heart beat fast. What was he doing, helping an alien royal from another planet? This was crazy, but somehow it felt right. They reached the storage room. Ravi opened a side panel and revealed a small hidden door. He built it years ago to hide tools. He never thought it would save a life. Zira crawled in. The space was small but safe. He closed the door. A moment later, footsteps approached. 3 figures in dark suits entered the hallway. They were tall, with heavy weapons and blank eyes. They looked around but said nothing. One of them pointed at Ravi. "You human, seen any strangers?" Ravi shook his head. "Just me and my toolbox." They scanned the area with a small device. Red lights flashed, but it beeped and turned green. "Clear," said one of them. "Move." The soldiers left. Ravi let out a deep breath. He opened the panel. Zira crawled out, silent but grateful. "You didn't tell them," she whispered. "No," he said. "You trusted me. I won't break that." Zira's eyes softened. She touched his shoulder lightly. "Thank you." Ravi sat down on a crate. His hands were shaking. "So," he said, "want to tell me more? Like why a princess is running from her own people?" Zira nodded. Her face was serious now. "It's not just me they want. It's something I carry. Something powerful. Something I didn't even know I had. Ravi stared at her. The tears, the fear. It was only the beginning. He had no idea that his quiet life was about to change forever. The small storage room was dark and quiet. Zira sat on a folded blanket, her silvered hair now hidden under a dusty jacket Ravi had given her. She looked tired, but her eyes still glowed gently in the shadows. Ravi sat across from her, holding a warm drink in a metal cup. Neither of them spoke for a long time. Finally, Ravi broke the silence. You said you carry something. Something they want. What is it? Zira looked down at her hands. Her fingers were long and elegant, with soft markings glowing faintly on her skin. It is called the Heart of Velmora, she said softly. It's not a thing you can touch. Not really. It is a power, passed down through the royal family for many generations. It connects the ruler of Velmora to the planet itself. Ravi's eyes narrowed. You mean, the planet listens to you? In a way, yes, she said. The plants grow faster when we speak to them. The winds slow when we ask. The oceans calm when we sing. It's not magic. It's a bond, old and sacred. That sounds amazing, Ravi said. Zira nodded. But it also makes me a target. If someone evil gets control of the heart, they could use the planet's power for war, for destruction. Ravi leaned forward. And someone is trying to do that. Yes, she said. His name is Commander Juno. He was once a protector of the royal family. He was strong and proud. But he wanted more than duty. He wanted the throne. She paused, her eyes full of pain. After my father died last year, Juno tried to take control, but the heart would not answer to him. It chose me, and that's when he turned against us. Ravi listened closely. He had never heard of such a thing. On Earth, power came from machines, fuel, and weapons. But here it came from nature itself and from Zira. So you ran, he said. She nodded. My guard, Taro, helped me escape. We used a secret pod and flew far away. We landed near this station, but we were attacked. Taro stayed behind to fight. I don't know if he made it. Ravi looked down at the floor. He had fixed broken wires and engines his whole life, but he had never fixed something like this. A princess running from a war, a living connection to a planet. It was hard to believe, but her eyes told the truth. What will happen to your people? He asked. If Juno rules, Velmora will suffer, she said. He does not care about balance. He wants to take the planet's energy and sell it to warlords. He wants power, not peace. Ravi clenched his fist. That's wrong. Zira looked at him. You believe me? I don't know everything, he said. But I believe your tears. I believe your fear, and I believe your heart. A small smile appeared on her face. You're kind, Ravi. I'm glad I found you. At that moment, the door buzzer rang. Not loud, just one short buzz. It was the signal Ravi had set for his friend Mira. He stood up quickly. It's okay, it's just my friend. She's a cargo pilot. Maybe she can help us. Zira stood as well, her posture still graceful, even in fear. Ravi walked to the outer hatch and opened it carefully. A short woman with a thick coat and black gloves stepped inside. Her eyes lit up when she saw Ravi. You're late, she said. And you're loud, Ravi replied. Come inside. Mira entered the small room and pulled off her gloves. She looked around and noticed Zira. Her eyebrows rose. Who's this? Ravi took a deep breath. Mira, this is Zira. She's from Velmora. She needs help. Mira stared at the princess for a moment, then gave a slow nod. All right, what kind of help? Ravi explained everything. Zira's escape, the chase, the heart of Velmora. Mira didn't laugh or question. She listened in silence, her face calm. When Ravi finished, Mira spoke. You're in big trouble, both of you. If those hunters find her, this station won't be safe for long. I know, Ravi said. I have a ship, Mira said. Small, fast, and hidden. We can leave tonight. I'll take you to Velmora. Zira looked surprised. You would do that? Mira smiled. Well, I don't usually help royalty, but Ravi's my friend and you seem like someone worth helping. Zira bowed her head. Thank you. Just then, the power flickered. The lights dimmed. A low hum filled the air. They're scanning the station again, Mira said. We need to move. Ravi turned to Zira. Can you walk? We'll go now. Zira nodded. She picked up a small silver pouch from her cloak and placed it in her jacket. I'm ready. They moved quickly. Myra led them through the back tunnels of the station, areas few people used. Pipes hissed. Cold steam floated through the air. The sound of boots echoed in the distance. Soldiers were getting closer. Almost there, Mira whispered. They reached Mira's ship. It was hidden behind a wall panel and painted dark gray. The door opened with a soft click. Zira stepped in first. Ravi followed, heart beating fast. Myra closed the door behind them. Strap in, we're leaving now. The engines hummed to life. The ship rose, slowly at first, then faster. It broke away from the station and entered deep space. Stars flew past the windows. They were free for now. Zira sat beside Ravi, her eyes stared at the stars. But her mind was far away. What happens now? Ravi asked. She looked at him now. I must return home and awaken the heart of Velmora. It's the only way to stop Juno. Ravi nodded. Then we go together. Zira smiled faintly. Thank you, Ravi. I don't feel alone anymore. Myra's ship, the Nari, moved smoothly through space. The engines were quiet, the lights dim, and every button on the control board blinked calmly. But inside the small ship, everyone's heart beat fast. Ravi sat near the side window watching stars fly past like silver dust. Zira sat next to him, holding her small silver pouch tightly. Mira stayed at the pilot seat, checking the screens again and again. Any signs of them? Ravi asked. Not yet, Mira said. But I don't trust the silence. Juno's hunters are smart. If they followed Zira to the station, they can follow her here too. Zira turned her head. They are not just hunters. Some of them were trained as royal guards. They know how to track, how to hide. If they want to find me, they will. Ravi looked at her. Then we stay ahead of them. How long till we reach Velmora? 2 days, Mira said. Maybe less if I push the engines. Zira's face looked worried. We don't have 2 days. Why? Ravi asked. She opened the silver pouch and carefully pulled out a glowing crystal, bright like a tiny sun. The light was soft, not blinding, and gave warmth to the cold room. This is a shard of the heart of Velmora, she said. It stays bright when the connection to the planet is strong. But look, she turned it slightly. A corner of the crystal was turning dull, and grey. Ravi stared. What does it mean? It means the heart is weakening, Zira said. Juno must be using forbidden tools. He's forcing the planet to obey him, but the bond is breaking. If it breaks fully, the heart will die, and Velmora will never heal. Again Mira sighed and pushed the engine speed higher. Then we get you there fast. Later that night, while Zira rested in the back room, Ravi sat with Mira in the cockpit. She's brave, Mira said, keeping her eyes on the stars. She is, Ravi agreed. But she's scared too. Mira nodded. A good leader should be. Power without fear becomes cruelty. Ravi looked down at his hands. Do you really think we can help her? I think, Mira said, we already are. Just then, a red light blinked on the side screen. Myra pressed a button. Ship detected, the system said in a flat voice. Unidentified model. Following path. Myra swore under her breath. They found us. How? Ravi asked. Doesn't matter. They're coming fast. Myra turned the ship slightly and changed course. The stars tilted outside. She moved between asteroid belts and nebula clouds, trying to lose the tracker. But the red dots stayed on the screen. They're gaining, she said. 1 ship, maybe 2. Ravi stood. I'll tell Zira. He ran to the back room. Zira was already awake, holding the crystal. She looked calm, but her hands were tight around the stone. They're here, Ravi said. I know, Zira said. Quietly, the heart feels it. They returned to the cockpit. Myra was ready. We can't outrun them for long, but there's a planet nearby. Not safe, but it might hide us. Do it, Zira said. Mira pushed the ship toward the green and brown planet ahead. It was covered in strange fog, with tall mountain ranges and wide, dry lakes. They entered the atmosphere. The ship shook. Storm clouds hit them. Lightning flashed around the wings. Myra held the controls tight. Hold on. The ship dropped suddenly, then steadied. She flew low, just above the dry ground, weaving between rock towers and cliffs. Behind them, the enemy ship followed. It was black and sharp, with 2 glowing wings. A blast of blue light shot from it, barely missing the Nari. We need to land, Myra shouted. There, Ravi pointed. The narrow canyon opened ahead, with a small cave on the side. Myra turned the ship sharply and flew into the canyon. The enemy ship shot again, but missed. Myra slid the ship into the cave entrance and shut off the engine. Silenced that, all 3 of them held their breath. The enemy ship passed by, scanning, but did not see them. After 10 long minutes, it disappeared into the clouds. Myra let out a deep breath. We're safe for now. Inside the cave, they made a small camp. The cave walls were smooth and cold. The wind outside howled like a giant beast. Ravi sat close to a small heat lamp while Zira stared at her glowing crystal. I think I remember this place, she said suddenly. Ravi looked at her. You've been here before? When I was young, she said. My father brought me to this planet once. We met the Guardians here. Guardians, old beings, not alive like us, but still awake. They protect knowledge. My father said they can see truth in any heart. Ravi leaned forward. Dude, you think they're still here? Zero stood. Maybe, and if they are, they might know how to reach Velmora faster. Myra stood too. Let's find them. We can't waste time. They walked deeper into the cave. The light from Zera's crystal showed strange markings on the walls. Symbols, circles, stars, and lines. They reached a wide room, filled with stone. Pillars at the center stood a tall stone figure with no face and wide wings carved into its back. Zera stepped forward. I call upon the guardians of memory, she said. The air changed. A soft hum filled the room. Then, the stone figure moved. It did not speak with words, but its thoughts came to them clearly, inside their minds. Daughter of Velmor, you carry the light. Why do you seek the old ways? Zera bowed her head. I must save my world. The heart is dying. I need to reach the temple and awaken it. The guardian's mind voice was strong. Then you must pass the test. Only the pure may call the heart. I will try, she said. Light formed around her. It lifted her slightly into the air. She closed her eyes. The light around her glowed brighter and brighter. Then suddenly it shot into the crystal. The gray part turned bright again. The light faded. Zera slowly returned to the ground. The stone guardian spoke again. You are worthy. We shall show you the path. A small map appeared in the air, glowing blue. It showed a faster way to Velmora through hidden space gates known only to the Guardians. Myra gasped. This can save us days. Zera turned to Ravi. We have a chance now. Ravi smiled. Then let's take it. The glowing map floated in the air, shining like a small sun. Zera, Ravi, and Mira stared at it, eyes wide with hope and wonder. The map showed a secret path, an old space gate that connected to a quiet corner of Velmora. If they used it, they could reach the planet in just a few hours instead of 2 days. Myra reached out, and the map folded itself into a small glowing cube. She carefully placed it into her jacket pocket. We need to go now, she said. Before Juno finds us again. Zera turned to the stone guardian. She bowed deeply. Thank you for your guidance. The stone being did not move again, but its presence felt calm and powerful. It had done its duty. They rushed back to the ship. The wind outside had grown stronger. Dust and small stones flew through the air. The cave shook a little, as if warning them to leave soon. Ravi helped Zera into the ship while Mira started the engines. The Nari rumbled to life, ready for one more run. As the ship lifted off and left the cave, Ravi looked out the window. He wondered if the Guardian would ever speak again. He had never seen such a thing. He had never felt such a thing either. The world was much bigger than he thought. The ship rose high and shot back into space. The red light of the planet faded behind them. The path to the hidden space gate was shown clearly on the map, and Myra followed it carefully. Zera sat quietly, holding the crystal in her lap. Ravi sat beside her. Are you feeling all right? He asked. She nodded slowly. I feel the heart waking. The Guardian's light helped. I can hear Velmora calling now. It's weak, but it's there. Ravi looked at the crystal. It was brighter, now, glowing steady like a heartbeat. Do you think the temple will still accept you? It must, she said. If not, everything is lost. Ravi wanted to say something to comfort her, but no words came. Instead, he gently placed his hand near hers. She looked at him and gave a small smile. No words were needed. Hours passed. Stars moved across the windows. Then the map glowed again. We're here, Mira said. Ahead of them was a strange place. In space, it looked like a broken ring floating in the dark. Half of it was covered in blue vines. The other half was metal and old stone. At the center, a quiet light spun slowly like a wheel. That's the gate, Ravi asked. Yes, Zera said. It's ancient, built long ago, before even my people knew how. Mira guided the ship forward. The gate responded to Zera's presence. The spinning light grew faster, brighter. Zera stepped forward and placed her hand on the glass. Velmora, opened your path. The gate flared with light. A blue tunnel appeared in front of them, twisting and turning through space like a river of stars. Here we go, Myra said. The ship flew in. Inside the space gate, everything looked strange. Colors flowed like water. Time felt slow, then fast. Ravi felt a warmth in his chest, like something deep inside him was waking up. Zera closed her eyes. She sat still, glowing faintly. The heart in her hands pulsed softly. I feel her, she said. Velmora is crying. She needs me. Mira kept the ship steady. Just a bit more. Then, after a final twist, the gate opened and They came out near a beautiful blue and green planet. Velmora. It looked peaceful from space, but something felt wrong. The light from the planet was dimmer than before. Zira gasped. He's begun the draining. Juno is using machines to take energy from the core. Myra scanned the surface. The temple is here. She pointed at a mountain near a wide forest. Land there, Zira said. We must reach it before it's too late. The ship landed near the edge of the mountain. Trees swayed slowly in the wind. The sky above was cloudy, and the air smelled sweet but strange. They stepped out. Zira led the way, holding the glowing crystal in front of her. The mountain had steps carved into the side, old and covered in moss. Ravi looked up. How far is it? Not far, Zira said. But we must hurry. They climbed together. As they went higher, Ravi noticed the land changing. Some trees were turning gray. The air was thinner. Even the ground felt sick. Zira touched the soil gently. The bond is breaking. When they reached the top, they saw the temple of light, a wide circle of white stone, glowing faintly. Water flowed through small paths in the floor. Circling around the center where a tall crystal pillar stood, Zira walked forward slowly. The temple felt quiet. Too quiet. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. Well, the lost princess returns. They turned. Commander Juno stood at the entrance. He wore dark armor, his face cold and sharp. Behind him stood 2 guards, weapons in hand. You've come all this way just to fail, he said. Zira stood firm. I won't let you destroy Velmora. Juno laughed. Velmora is already mine. Soon the heart will die, and no one will stop. Me, not you, not your friends. Myra stepped forward. You're wrong, she's not alone. Juno raised his hand and his guards moved forward. Before they could fire, the temple responded. The glowing pillar at the center flashed. Energy surrounded Zira and Ravi. Juno stepped back in surprise. What? Zira looked down at Ravi. The heart crystal in her hand began to float. The temple needs a protector, she said. Someone the heart trusts. The light from the crystal split and a part of it flew into Ravi's chest. He gasped. His body felt warm, filled with strength. The wind around them rose, spinning with light. Juno shouted, "Stop them!" The guards tried to shoot, but their weapons jammed. The temple's light grew stronger. The stone floor shook. Zira stepped into the center of the circle. I am Zira, daughter of Velmora, keeper of the heart. I call the light to awaken. A beam of energy shot from the pillar into the sky. Ravi raised his hand and the temple responded. Walls of light rose around them, pushing Juno and his men back. Juno growled and turned to run. This isn't over. Ravi took a deep breath. Let him go. We have work to do. Zira stood in the center of the temple, light surrounding her. The heart glowed bright again. The land below began to change. Trees turned green. Rivers flowed stronger. Velmora was waking. She turned to Ravi. You were chosen by the heart. You are now its protector. He smiled gently. Then I'll protect you and Velmora. Zira reached out and took his hand. Thank you, Ravi, you saved my people. The wind danced gently across the top of the mountain. The temple of light stood calm now, glowing with warm blue light. Velmora's skies had grown brighter, and the trees below began to turn green again. Flowers bloomed where once the ground had turned gray. Zira stood at the center of the temple, eyes closed, holding the heart crystal close to her chest. A quiet hum filled the air like the sound of nature breathing once more. Ravi stood beside her, still feeling the strange warmth inside his chest. When the heart had chosen him, something had changed. He could feel the land now. He could feel its sadness, its strength, and its deep hope. Myra stood near the temple's outer edge, watching the valley below with her hand on her blaster. No sign of Juno or his men, she said. He ran fast. He will return, Zira said softly, opening her eyes. He is angry now, but he will not give up. Ravi nodded. We need to be ready. Zira looked at him with gentle eyes. You are part of the heart now, Ravi. The temple chose you to protect it. That bond cannot be broken. But why me? He asked. I'm just a mechanic. I don't have powers. Zira shook her head. You do now. Not the kind that destroys, but the kind that protects, heals, and connects. Ravi touched his chest. The light inside him pulsed slowly, like a second heartbeat. I can feel the temple. I can feel everything. The heart trusts you, Zira said, and so do I. As the sun began to set, the temple lit up with golden light. Zira guided Ravi through the inner ring of the temple, where old stones were carved with writing in Velmoran language. She spoke each symbol softly. These are the names of all the protectors who came before, she said. Each one gave their life to keep the heart safe. Ravi paused. Will I have to do the same? Zero looked at him. Only if the planet is in danger. But I believe we can stop this without more loss. If we awaken the full heart, we can restore balance, but for that, we need to reach the sacred pool inside the Tree of Harmony. Ravi frowned. Where is it? In the center of Velmora, she said, but it's guarded. Only someone chosen by the heart can open the way. Then we go together, he said. But before they could leave the temple, they heard a soft voice from the shadows. I knew you would return, princess. Zira turned quickly. A figure stepped forward, tall, injured, with armor cracked and a deep scar across his shoulder. It was Taro, her royal bodyguard. Zero ran to him. Taro, you're alive. He bowed. I failed to protect you. I am sorry. No, she said, holding his hand. You helped me escape. You gave me a chance. That saved everything. Taro looked at Ravi, his eyes cautious. And who is he? Ravi gave a small wave. I'm Ravi, mechanic from Sector 9, and I guess, part of the heart now. Taro raised an eyebrow but said nothing. Zira smiled. He's been with me since I ran. He saved me more than once. Taro nodded. Then I owe you thanks. Human, Ravi shrugged. I just did what felt right. That night, they rested in the temple. The stars above Velmora were brighter than Ravi had ever seen. The winds carried songs of the forest, like whispers from the planet itself. Zira sat near the crystal pillar, her eyes on the stars. Ravi sat beside her. Do you ever wish you were just a normal person? He asked. Zira smiled. Sometimes I never chose to be a princess, but I always chose to care for my people. Ravi looked up at the sky. You're strong. I don't feel strong, she said. That's why you are, Ravi replied. They sat in silence for a while, their hearts calmed. The next morning, Zero stood at the edge of the temple with Taro and Ravi. Mira had already prepared the ship for the next flight. The Tree of Harmony lies in the hidden valley, Zero said. It is protected by old energy. We must be careful. As they prepared to leave, a sudden tremor shook the ground. What was that? Myra shouted. Taro pointed to the horizon. A thick cloud of dark smoke was rising. Fires burned near the far side of the mountain. Juno, he said. He's destroying the forest. Zero's face turned pale. He's forcing the land to give up energy. If he keeps doing that, the heart will become unstable. We need to stop him, Ravi said. Zero looked at the temple. If we awaken the heart fully, Juno's tools will stop working. He'll lose control. But we must do it fast. They rushed into Myra's ship and lifted off. Below they could see machines tearing into trees, turning green lands into dust. Juno's soldiers marched with cold eyes, and massive drills stabbed into the soil. Ravi clenched his fists. This planet is alive, and they're hurting it. Zero nodded. But we can still save it. Myra flew the ship low and fast. They dodged patrols and machines, heading straight for the hidden valley. After 2 hours, they reached a large green hill covered in golden flowers. At the top stood a giant glowing tree. Its branches reached the clouds, and its roots spread like rivers across the valley. The Tree of Harmony, Zero whispered. They landed nearby and stepped out. The air was soft here, peaceful. No machines, no noise, only light and life. Zero walked to the tree, and it responded. Its trunk opened slowly, revealing a glowing path inside. Only the chosen can enter, she said. Ravi, come with me. Ravi stepped forward, the light inside him growing stronger. Together they entered the tree, leaving Taro and Myra to guard the outside. Inside, the path led to a quiet pool, glowing blue and white, the sacred pool. Zira stood at the edge and held the heart crystal. Ravi stood beside her. We call the planet now, she said. Together, they placed their hands into the pool. Light burst around them. They saw visions of forests, rivers, animals, people laughing, families planting trees, skies full of stars, and then darkness, fire, broken land. They held the images together, and they spoke one word. Awaken. The tree lit up from inside. Its branches glowed. Across the planet, the heart pulsed. Energy flowed back into the land. Juno's machines began to fail. Drills cracked. Engines stopped. His soldiers fell back in panic. The planet was fighting. Back. Outside, Mira and Taro saw the sky light up. Winds pushed away smoke. Trees began to grow again. Inside the tree, Zira and Ravi opened their eyes. The pool was quiet again. It worked. Zira whispered. Ravi smiled. Velmora is awake. The Tree of Harmony glowed gently behind them as Zira and Ravi stepped out into the warm sunlight. The valley looked alive again. Green leaves danced. In the wind, birds returned to their nests. Streams flowed with clear water. Myra stood waiting beside the ship, smiling wide. You did it, she said. Zero nodded. The heart is full again. Velmora is healing. Taro stepped forward and looked up at the glowing tree. I never thought I'd see it bloom again. Ravi looked at his hands. The light inside him had calmed but was still there. I can feel the planet smiling. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed. In the sky, a giant dark ship appeared above the valley, blocking out the sun. It was shaped like a giant claw, covered in black metal. Sparks of red lightning ran along its sides. Soldiers began to drop from it, metal-clad, faceless, moving. Fast, Juno, Taro said. He's come for the heart. Zero stood tall. He's desperate now. The heart no longer listens to him, but he will try to break it. Ravi looked up at the ship. Then we stop him. Mira grabbed her weapon. We protect the tree, no matter what. The soldiers began marching toward the valley. They held energy shields and weapons that glowed blue. Behind them came machines, big ones, like walking towers with sharp legs and flashing eyes. The ground shook as they moved. We need a plan, Ravi said. Zero turned to him. The heart has given you power. The planet will listen to your voice. I don't know how to use it, Ravi said. You don't need to control it, she replied. You only need to believe in it. Taro and Mira nodded. We'll hold the front, Mira said. You and Zero protect the heart. As the enemy army entered the valley, the sky turned dark. Clouds formed above the great ship. Juno's voice echoed from the speakers. Zero, give me the heart, and I will spare your friends. Zero stepped forward. I will never give you the heart. You lost your right to it when you betrayed Velmora. So be it, Juno growled. The soldiers charged. Myra fired first. Taro followed, using an energy blade that cut through the soldiers' shields. But there were too many. Cira turned to Ravi. Now is the time. Ravi stepped forward. He closed his eyes and placed his hand on the ground. He whispered, Velmora, help us. The earth answered. Vines shot from the ground, wrapping around the enemy machines. Trees bent to form shields. Rocks lifted and blocked paths. The planet itself was fighting back. Ravi opened his eyes. It's working. Zero placed her hand on his shoulder. You are the protector now. Guide the light. Ravi raised both hands, and wind rushed across the valley. Fire from the enemy machines was pushed back. The ground cracked and swallowed the heavy walkers. Soldiers lost their footing as the forest itself moved to stop them. From above, Juno watched in disbelief. How can a human do this? He shouted. Zero looked up at the ship. Because he has something. You lost respect for life. Suddenly, a red beam shot from the ship and hit the ground near them. The shock threw everyone back. Smoke and dust filled the air. When it cleared, Juno stood on the battlefield. He had come down himself. His armor was darker than before, powered by stolen energy. His eyes glowed with anger. You dare challenge me, he shouted. Zero stepped forward. This is our world, not yours. Juno raised his arm, and a blast of energy shot toward her. Ravi stepped in front. The light inside him formed a shield. The blast hit, but he held firm. The shield cracked, but it held. Juno growled. You will break, Ravi shouted back. Not while I'm standing. Taro and Mira rushed in from the side, distracting Juno. They attacked fast, giving Ravi and Zero a moment. The heart must be sealed again, Zero said. Inside the tree, at the pool, Ravi nodded. Let's finish this. They ran back into the tree of harmony. The sacred pool glowed once more. Zero held up the crystal. This is the final bond. If we return the heart to the pool, its power will no longer be stolen. Ravi placed his hand over hers. Together, they lowered the crystal into the water. The pool flashed with a blinding light. Energy rose around them, filling the tree, the valley, and the sky. The heart merged with the planet. Outside, the enemy soldiers dropped their weapons. Machines powered by stolen energy shut down. Even Juno's armor flickered. No, he shouted. The light grew brighter. Winds roared. A ring of energy pushed outward from the tree, washing over the valley. Everything it touched returned to life. Juno stumbled. You don't understand what you've done. Zero and Ravi stepped from the tree. We've brought Velmora back, Zero said. Juno tried to charge, but vines wrapped around him. The ground beneath his feet cracked. A bright pillar of light lifted him into the sky and carried him far from the valley. He was gone. The battle was over. The skies cleared. Sunlight returned. Birds sang again. The wind carried the scent of flowers. The forest healed. Myra, Taro, Ravi, and Zero stood at the top of the valley. The tree of harmony behind them stood taller than ever, its leaves shining like stars. Ravi breathed deeply. It's over. Zero looked at the land. Velmora is safe again. The heart is home. Taro looked at Ravi. You are no longer just a mechanic. Ravi smiled. Guess I got promoted. Myra laughed. You've earned it. Zira took Ravi's hand. The heart will always be part of you now. You can stay, if you wish. Ravi looked at the sky, then at her. This place needs care. And I think I found something worth staying for. Zira smiled. Then stay with me. He nodded. As the sun set behind the mountains, the four friends stood together, watching Velmora breathe again. Peace had returned, but one part of the story was still left to be told. The morning sun rose over the mountains of Velmora, soft golden. Light touched the trees, rivers, and fields. The sky was bright blue. Flowers opened as the breeze moved gently across the land. For the first time in many years, the planet was at peace. Ravi stood on a small hill beside the Tree of Harmony. He watched the valley below where animals ran free and people began to return to the land. Villagers who had once fled Juno's rule were now rebuilding homes and planting seeds. Everything felt new. Alive. Behind him, Zero walked quietly, holding a small basket filled with fruit and herbs. You're up early, she said with a smile. I couldn't sleep, Ravi replied. I kept listening to the planet. It feels so calm now. She sat beside him and looked at the horizon. Velmora thanks you, Ravi. You helped give her breath again. Ravi smiled. It wasn't just me. It was you, and Myra, and Tarawend, the heart. We all did this together. Zira nodded. Still, without your bond to the heart, the temple may never have awakened. He touched his chest, where the light still softly glowed inside. I can still feel it. Quiet now, like it's resting. That's good, she said. The heart doesn't like noise. It listens best when the world is still. Later that day, the village held a small celebration near the Temple of Light. It wasn't loud or fancy, but it was full of joy. Children danced near the river. Old people lit soft lanterns made of leaves and light. Music filled the edge, full of hope. Myra wore a long blue coat, her hair tied back with silver thread. She clapped along with the songs, laughing for the first time in weeks. Taro stood near the edge, watching with his usual quiet face, but there was peace in his eyes. The guard who once feared failure now looked at the future with calm strength. Zira wore a simple white dress with green vines stitched along the sides. She didn't wear a crown. She didn't stand on a stage. She walked among her people, smiling, talking, hugging children. She was no longer just a princess, she was their light. Ravi helped set up wooden tables. People came to him with thanks, with gifts of fruit and warm bread. He didn't know what to say. He had never been a hero. On Earth, he was just a repairman who fixed broken things. But here, he had helped fix something much greater. As the evening came, Zero stood on a small stone and raised her hand. The crowd slowly became quiet. My people, she began, her voice soft but strong. Today we are not celebrating a war, we are celebrating peace. She looked around. We lost many. We suffered, but we also stood together. With the help of new friends, we brought our world back to life. She pointed gently toward Ravi. This human, Ravi, was a stranger to us, but the heart of Velmora chose him not because of his name or his power, but because of his kindness, his truth, and his heart. Ravi felt a little shy as everyone looked at him. He scratched the back of his neck and gave a small wave. Zira continued, and now, he is one of us. The protector of the heart, the guardian of balance. Cheers filled the air. Ravi blushed. I didn't do it for the title, he said quietly to Myra. I know, Myra replied with a grin. That's why it means something. Later that night, lanterns floated into the sky, carrying messages of thanks and dreams for the future. Ravi stood near the tree again. Zero joined him. This place will need rebuilding, she said. I can help, Ravi replied. She turned to him. You could also return to Earth, if you wish. He looked up at the stars. Earth is my home, but I've never felt this kind of connection. I've never heard the land speak to me. I've never seen people listen to the wind and water. He smiled softly. I think I've found my place. Zera's eyes glowed faintly in the moonlight. Then stay. With me. With us. He nodded. I will. The days passed gently after that. Ravi learned more about Velmora's forests, rivers, and creatures. He helped plant new trees, fix old machines, and teach children how to build small tools. He and Zero often walked the valleys together, sometimes speaking, sometimes just listening to the sounds of life. Mira returned to her ship for a time, carrying messages of peace to nearby systems. She promised to return and she did. Again and again. Taro became the leader of a new guard, not one of weapons, but of peacekeepers, trained to protect people, not power. The heart inside Ravi became quieter, but it never left. Sometimes, when danger came close, storms or sickness, the light inside him would guide the way, always gently, always with care. One evening, Zira stood with Ravi near the edge of a high cliff. Below them, lights from the new village flickered, like stars. I used to dream of escaping, she said, of running away from duties, titles, fears. But now I see true leadership is not about control, it's about care. Ravi took her hand. And you lead with heart. She looked at him with warmth. So do you. They stood there in silence, watching the stars above and the soft lights below. Velmora had once been broken. Now it had begun again.